Howdy everyone and welcome back to the Game King. Not E3 season continues to just be an absolutely fantastic time of the year as Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest 2026 showcase wrapped just a couple of hours ago with some all-time amazing announcements. But let's not waste any time and get straight into our definitive recap of the whole show. Summer Game Fest opened with the grand reveal of Resident Evil Veronica, a remake of Code Veronica. Our first footage of the game shows Claire Redfield in Paris searching for her brother Chris. It seems this will be a bigger reimagining compared to the other remakes based off what we see in the trailer, and we won't have to wait long as the game is set for release in 2027. I cannot believe how fast Capcom keeps turning out these Resident Evil games. Really doesn't need to go without saying, but I am there day one. The next announcement came from Studio MDHR, who, with a beautiful puppet, announced that development has begun on the next hand-drawn Cuphead game. But while that may be a long time away, they also announced Mighty Cuphead Adventure, an 8-bit action platformer that we can look forward to sooner. That was then followed by a huge surprise as Creative Assembly gave us our first look at Alien Isolation 2, which looks to take us to an isolated colony that will be attacked by a xenomorph. One of my most dreamed about sequels of all time, and I can't believe we're finally getting it. Fumito Ueda, the man behind Ico and Shadow of the Colossus' next game, Project Robot, is now known as genAtlas. We saw our first gameplay of the single-player open-world action game, although we are still waiting on that release date. After a trailer for Blood Message, an action game from NetEase that sees you playing as a messenger heading on an odyssey through war-torn lands with your son, RGG Studios announced a release date for Stranger Than Heaven, with a new trailer that revealed Tupac, yes, that Tupac, will be featured in the game, joining Snoop Dogg. Very insane RGG, but you guys do you. After looks at Hats, a multiplayer mind-bending survival game, the announcement of the Dead by Daylight 10th anniversary stream for June 14th, the Mortal Blade 2 beta which is now live, and a new look at Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Resync, Platinum Games revealed that they are collaborating with the newly formed Paramount Games to make TMNT The Last Ronin, an action game based off the comic of the same name. Match made in heaven. Then, following a look at Fortnite's newest season, Bandai revealed Gundam Rogue Orbit, a new action game set in the Gundam universe that basically looks like Armored Core meets Gundam. After a look at its extremely hard game, we got 4 back-to-back great trailers. Crossfire, a narrative-driven third-person shooter that sees 2 opposing fighters needing to work together with what the devs called an adaptive cover system, which evolves the classic cover system in the same way Gears of War did so long ago. Then we got a new look at Control Resonant with a fantastic trailer showing off more details. Then ArenaNet took to the stage to unveil Guild Wars 3, the next MMORPG in the legendary franchise that is set to be the next evolution in the genre. Really awesome to see ArenaNet supporting Guild Wars 1 and 2, as well as investing in the future. Finally, Star Wars Galactic Racer premiered an amazing story trailer showing off the world we will be racing in on October 6th, including the main character wanting to take on the GOAT himself, Sebulba. Beating him in a race is gonna just be so nice. The next big trailer in the show was for the next Virtua Fighter, now officially known as Virtua Fighter Crossroads. The game will feature a crazy looking story mode that sees the main character taking on opponents and a tight combat system. While we didn't get an exact date, the game is set for 2027. Now, time for a speed run. RuneScape Dragon Wilds 1.0 is set for September 25th. Soul Frames pre-alpha is now live. Grounded 2's Into the Abyss update launches on August 11th. Mafia: The Old Country Man of Honor sees the return of the Mafia 1 protagonist and a big expansion on August 14th. 1666 Amsterdam sees you playing as a witch in easily one of my favorite trailers during the whole show, and that has a prologue demo available right now. And finally, Saw Genesis is a 3v1 multiplayer game set in the Saw universe. This is Jeff Keighley standing next to Jigsaw. It's kind of a beautiful image. I can't believe we're only halfway through this thing. we got a new look at Star Wars Zero Company with an amazing trailer. Players will lead a crew of misfits into the underworld to take on a separatist splinter faction during the Clone Wars era in this tactical game from former XCOM devs. The customization and gameplay seems to be a huge step up from the last XCOM game, and we even got a sneak peek at Anakin Skywalker at the end of the trailer. Can't wait to jump in on August 27th. Then, after a new trailer for the Blood of Dawn Walker, which is set for September 3rd, Among Us story On Guard was revealed. This is a single-player game set in the Among Us universe that will see players solve crimes, and man, what a beautiful art style. Also, important to note that all episodes of the Among Us show are now live on Paramount Plus with a surprise shadow drop. After the announcement of story DLC for 007 First Light, so happy to see updates already coming, Capcom unveiled Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance, the most massive expansion in Monster Hunter history that will take players skyward in 2027. Then, after an extended gameplay look at the fantasy action RPG Swords of Legends and the reveal of Hot Wheels Infinite Rush, Sonic took to the stage for his 35th anniversary. Sonic Racing Crossroads will be receiving collabs with Godzilla and Neon Genesis Evangelion next year, as well as a new game with Sonic Pico Park developed by the talented indie game team behind the original. Now, our final speedrun. Attack on Titan 3 launches on July 1st and will let players play through the entire series. Clutch is a narrative open-world racing game from former Forza Horizon devs. Shout out to them using the killers. Sea Remnants is a game with lots of action and singing. Hitman 3 is getting a Wiz Khalifa boxing match level. And Palworld 1.0 launches on July 10th. On to the finale. The final reveals of the show were all 10 out of 10s in my book. The Wolf Among Us 2 is finally coming out next year. We got an amazing look at the game, which I can only say with as much as we saw, I can't believe it's finally happening. In the meantime, a remaster of the original game is set for this holiday, and yeah, I might play it because it has been like a decade. That was followed by Shift Up revealing Stellar Blade Blood Rain, the next game in the series. This time around, we will be playing as Evie, and the combat seems to have received some major upgrades over the original game. I kind of bought into the world in this trailer, so I think this one's going to be on my radar. Then, Capcom unveiled Street Fighter VI's Year 4 roster. The game will see Yasmin, Arjun, Bosch, and a new guest character with Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. The devs shared that Tifa will introduce a brand new gameplay system inspired by Final Fantasy when she joins the roster in the next year. Can't wait to see what her final design looks like in the game. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII, Jeff Keighley closed out the show with an absolute banger. It's Final Fantasy VII Revelation, the final chapter in the FF7 remake trilogy, was revealed as we will see Cloud and company march towards the final battle. The game will let players fly the high wind around and allow you to jump off at any point in the world, parachuting down to the ground below. The devs say the hybrid system has been perfected, and you can even customize characters with new outfits this time around. That isn't all though, as the game will also bring back the class system, letting players control their party more than ever before. Matt Mercer also took to the stage to reveal he is voicing Vincent Valentine, and yes, Matt Mercer, I agree, I cannot wait to play it. We won't have to wait long either, as Final Fantasy VII Revelation, man what a title, is set to launch in spring 2027 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Nintendo Switch 2 all on day one. Also, just look at how good this artwork looks. It really does make me want to cry. What a closer. And that wraps up this week of episode. I gotta go ahead and give Jeff Keighley an A+ for this show. Crazy not E3 season we are having so far, and it's not even over yet as we still have the big Xbox showcase on Sunday. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss a single thing. I've been your host, Brandon Alanis, and I'm gonna go enjoy some not E3 season Summer Game Fest coverage.